Hi, I'm Leon, and today we'll be reviewing the Nerf Zombie Corrupter. The Nerf Zombie Corrupter is from the new Nerf Zombie line. This is completely different from Zombie Strike, although not really. It's a line about the zombies kind of taking revenge on the humans from the story and effects of Zombie Strike. And with that comes a brand new aesthetic that I think is actually pretty cool. So a couple of things of note about the Corruptor. The first thing is this is a Spring Prime magazine-fed blaster, and it comes with an 18-round mag and some darts to fill it. Of course, the Corruptor is very decorative. You can immediately notice there's clear bits, there's paint, there's a lot of cool kind of gadgets and stuff. Nothing actually really moves apart from the priming handle, jam door, and whatever else. But very honestly, it's pretty cool. A whole plus to this blaster, though, is the fact that they've painted both sides. So this has got the same aesthetic as the other side, and they are different paints too. Nerf normally does the funny little thing that they do with almost every one of their products, which is cool one side, no paint on the other. So it's good to see the Nerf Zombie line actually paint both sides of the blaster, at least on the Corruptor itself. Although, truth be told, this extra paint does come with a slightly higher price tag, which we'll get into in a little bit. Of course, for operation, it's pretty simple. Bolt handle goes back. Go ahead and load your magazine in, prime forward, and fire. That's as simple as it is, and honestly, it's pretty effective. Over on the other side of the blaster, we have quite a little bit to talk about. The first thing is the jam door up here. It's kind of small. It's not super bad. I can certainly get access in there, and if I need to remove the mag, then, I've got enough access here. The one thing I will say is the jam door isn't very friendly to those who don't have fingernails like myself. So sometimes it's a little hard for me to get it, and in fact, I would actually want something on hand to go ahead and just go ahead and close it. This is a kind of situational problem. Most people probably won't have it. But very honestly, the jam door doesn't actually hinder the performance of the blaster. I can prime and fire with the jam door opened or closed. So, staying on the other side of the blaster, we can go ahead and talk about the unjamming button and the magazine release. Right over here is the unjamming button. Once you've primed, you cannot prime back again unless you go ahead and you use the unjamming button. Go ahead and press it down, super easy to access, prime back, clear your jam, and then go ahead and pull forward. It is important to note that when priming, you cannot stop short, otherwise it can't go forward, no matter how I try to do it. You actually have to pull back all the way. You'll hear it engage, and then you can pull back. This is common for reloading sort of mishaps. It does feel cool doing it, though, so I always like to pull back before I actually complete the reload. Moving down to the grip, we've got, honestly, pretty comfortable grip. I have relatively big hands, so the grip fits me. The length of pull is pretty satisfying. I find this blaster extremely comfortable despite everything going on it. Even this little portion of the grip itself feels pretty good. I will say that if you look at the bottom of the blaster, they certainly cheaped out of the paint here. But honestly, I won't hold it against them. I completely like just the sides of everything, and you're not looking at the blaster like this anyways. The magazine release, however, I do have an issue with. It is the same thing they've done since the Regulator and the Raptor Strike came out. The magazine release in the trigger guard. I don't like this. I've never really liked these style of magazine releases. I feel they are way too clunky, and I don't like anything in my trigger guard, so very honestly, it's not great. Well, positioning at least. The magazine release does feel pretty smooth. I feel there's no issue when I pull it. I don't feel any discomfort. I don't feel like it's designed to break. It feels like there's an actual spring in there, although I'm not too certain of that. But it does feel pretty good, and for a magazine release in the trigger guard, it's one of the better ones I've seen. There are some truly awful ones. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the clear elements of this blaster, particularly what you can see. It's not like the Doomland series, in the slightest actually. The Doomland series sort of prided itself on having these clear internals that you could see the mechanism work. Not so here. They certainly look cool. This is like a glass bottle kind of thing, and up top is like a little test tube and whatnot. But the only clear element you can really see anything with is this back screen right here, which just kind of shows you, when primed, the trigger being pulled. It works. It's not like the glory of the springs in Doomlands, but it certainly works. But apart from all of that, honestly, you can't really hate it. The clear elements are cool. The blaster looks cool. And we'll go ahead and talk real quick about the darts. These are Elites. They've always sold Elites. These are the same as the OG Elites. These are the same as the Elite 2.0 Elites. They're the same as the weird color Elites that come in any blaster. They're fine. They're the exact same color as Zombie Strike, so good luck trying not to say Zombie Strike. But it's different. The darts aren't, though. They've been the same way for years. But very honestly, you don't have to worry too much about that, because the darts itself, it works with kind of everything. It works with the stuff you can find in the Walmart itself, which is these are the Dart Zone Wafflehead darts. These are fantastic. I find them slightly less reliable than I'd like, but they still work. I have firing footage with them, so you can certainly see that they're working just fine. Down to the stock, there's one more thing of importance we have to talk about, which is the dart holders. These guys are honestly pretty good. They don't feel overly tight. They don't feel like you can not leave darts overnight. I left darts overnight in them, and these darts specifically, and they've got no signs of any wear and tear. I will say the more worn a dart is, the more likely it is that it will fly out. Like if I put this guy in here and start shaking a little bit, this guy will eventually maybe start trying to come out since it's a little more worn. However, if you're storing new darts or even adequately conditioned darts, you should be okay. And it won't damage them. It doesn't feel like it would be a necessarily detriment to them. Truth be told, I don't really know why you'd store 6 darts in a magazine-fed blaster. Maybe for the aesthetics, maybe for a sidearm. I'm sure you'll find a reason. Or if it just looks cool, more power to you. And for the last thing we got to talk about, it's tactics. 2 rails. That's all they give you. One on the top for maybe like a sight, and one on the bottom for maybe like a grip. Truth be told, I don't mind this. I think the blaster is small enough, but comfortable enough that you can maneuver it around, and I really wouldn't want to change anything anyways. Stock being a little longer is a pro, however, I think it's a pretty universally comfortable size. And with that, let's go ahead and see it fire. Shooting a combination of Elite Darts and Dart Zone Wafflehead darts. Shooting darts on waffles. Shooting exclusively Dart Zone chili darts. Combination of Nerf Elite Darts and Dart Zone Chili Darts. Dart Zone Chili Darts. Now trying the other side. Shooting Dart Zone Wafflehead darts that you can find at Walmart. Combination of Nerf Elite Darts and Dart Zone Chili Darts at the bottom. Shooting a combination of Nerf Elite Darts and Dart Zone Chili Darts. Dart Zone Chili Darts. shooting Dart Zone waffle head darts that you can find at Walmart. So, I really do like this thing. However, it's got one fatal flaw. I should not be able to do that. The priming handle is cheap. This is the same cheap style that they've been using for the Fortnite op, the snake gun from the Roblox line. It's the same stupid bolt action handle that they're using on all these blasters, and they fray and they get ugly and they don't stay in the blaster, and I can't do attack reload without the damn thing trying to fly. That is not great, especially on a blaster of this caliber, one that is small enough that I'd feel comfortable trying to play fast and aggressive with it. And that it's kind of a shame. It's kind of a really, really, really bad thing. It's not exactly as easy as throwing a bar through it, because the mag sits right where the priming handle goes. So the mag's right here, so you can't just throw a bar through it without cutting a hole through all your mags. And in truth, they've done it better. This thing was able to field in new condition to the condition you see it today in. It withstood maybe 3-4 Nerf wars, which is not a bad track record before the handle started to have issues. The one on this side, the non-dominant side for most shooters, is still fine, although it is definitely starting to fray a little, and I can see this one going in the foreseeable future, especially if I handed it to a left-handed shooter. And what kind of sucks is they have done this better. They've done it way better. This is the Tristrike. This is a thrifted blaster, and it was my personal main for the longest time. I couldn't put the thing down for quite a while because I just felt so satisfied by it. It didn't have the top prime, so the sight felt pretty nice on it. This is the personal combo I ran it with too. Sight felt nice. Any size mag, the 15 or the 22s felt good, and the prime is still as smooth as ever, and it shoots decently well. It's definitely losing some power because of its age, but I like it. And it's all because they put the bar through the priming handle, which means that this thing is designed to last quite a while. And I fielded it. I put it through the ringer, and the Tristrike shows no signs of giving up. And I wish I could say the same for the Corruptor. I really do. But with an issue as prevalent as this on a blaster that's kind of designed to go fast, it's a little heartbreaking. I will say that I can still safely recommend this thing to anybody willing to pick something up. And if you're going to be slow and deliberate with it, then fine, go get it. But if you're not, and you're really looking for something to rush with, hopefully there's an easy fix on this kind of issue soon. Otherwise, we might be kind of out of luck. Truthfully, though, I can still recommend it. I honestly think you should definitely wait for a sale. This thing costs about $25, and I was able to pick it up in store at my local Walmart. And for that price, I can't hate it. I can certainly wish for lower. $20 to $15 I think would be ideal, and if you can find it for $15, I would say get it regardless. You know, this issue is fixable with the extra $10 you just saved. So truthfully, while not the greatest thing of all time, I like it, and I can't really hate it at the end of the day. As long as you wait for a sale, take your time with it, or find an easy fix for it, you should be okay. And with that, that concludes my video review of the Zombie Corruptor. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, take it easy.